They say Italy is where beauty was born. But behind every postcard-perfect piazza and slice of pizza lies a world far stranger than you ever imagined. A country where people talk with their hands, beaches fine you for stealing sand, and entire towns will pay you to move in. From ghost-lit nights in Rome's alleys to orange battles in alpine villages, Italy isn't just a destination. It's a living riddle wrapped in history, humor, and chaos. Buckle up, traveler. Today, we uncover 17 mind-blowing facts and the wonderfully weird secrets that make Italy unlike anywhere else on Earth. Number 17. The only country that contains 3 countries within itself. Italy isn't just famous for its pasta, art, and romance. It's also one of the strangest places on Earth, because within its borders, there are 2 other nations that exist completely on their own. Yes, you can stand in Italy and visit 3 countries in one afternoon. The first is Vatican City, the smallest country in the world and the spiritual home of the Catholic Church. Inside its walls are St. Peter's Basilica and the Sistine Chapel, where Michelangelo's ceiling still leaves visitors speechless. Even the guards look like they've stepped out of a painting. Their Renaissance-style uniforms were designed by Michelangelo himself. A few hours northeast lies San Marino, a tiny republic built high on Mount Titano. It's been independent for more than 1,700 years, making it one of the oldest surviving governments in Europe. Most travelers don't realize they've entered another country until they see the medieval towers and blue and white flags flying above the stone streets. San Marino once printed its own currency, ran its own postal service, and its passport has become a rare collector's item, much like an antique stamp. Citizens don't need a passport to enter Italy, but tourists can get a special border stamp, a small but prized souvenir of crossing into one of Europe's most overlooked nations. 2 countries inside one nation that holds 3 flags. Italy isn't just beautiful, it's wonderfully complicated. Number 16. The town where you're not allowed to die. In a world full of strange laws, Italy proudly holds one of the weirdest, a town where dying is literally illegal. Welcome to Falciano del Masico, a sleepy village in southern Italy that decided death was simply inconvenient. Back in 2012, the local cemetery ran out of space, and instead of expanding it, the mayor passed a decree that stunned the world. It is forbidden to die within the town limits. Locals laughed, then hesitated. Because in Italy, bureaucracy is sacred, and breaking the law, even by dying, could technically get you fined. For years, this village became a dark comedy headline. Doctors joked about emergency vacations for dying patients, and priests whispered prayers for loopholes. Yet beneath the absurdity lies something deeply Italian, a poetic defiance of fate. Falciano didn't just ban death, it mocked it. The mayor said the decree was a way to remind people to live better. And somehow, in that small, sun-drenched town surrounded by vineyards and silence, it made sense. Because only in Italy could a law against dying feel like a celebration of life itself. Number 15. The weirdest beach rules in all of Europe. Italy isn't just about wine and art. Even its beaches have their own personalities, and some of them come with rules that sound almost unreal. Let's start with La Pelosa, often called the Caribbean of Italy, for its crystal-clear turquoise waters, where your shadow dances on the seafloor. But beauty here comes with a warning. Tourists are required to place a towel under their feet before stepping on the sand. Why? To stop them from accidentally taking home the island's famous white grains. Break the rule, and you could be fined up to $500, because in this paradise, sand is treated like gold. Not far away is Budeli Island, home to one of the world's rare pink beaches. The color comes from crushed coral that's been washing ashore for centuries. The government has completely banned walking on it. Visitors can only admire it from a boat. For decades, the island was home to just one man, Mauro Morandi, who lived there alone for 30 years, protecting the pink beach like a quiet guardian. If you're feeling brave, head to Guvano Beach, hidden deep between the cliffs of Cinque Terre. It's clothing optional, but getting there is half the thrill. You'll have to crawl through an abandoned 1-kilometer railway tunnel, pitch dark, cold, and echoing with every step. When you finally emerge into the sunlight, the sea feels like a reward. So, beaches that fine you for sand, islands you can't walk on, and tunnels that lead to secret shores, Italy's coastline proves that beauty here always comes with a twist. Number 14. The queen of the neighborhood in Italy. In Italy, beauty isn't just a look, it's a lifestyle. Walk through any neighborhood and you'll quickly meet La Regina del Quartiere, the queen of the neighborhood. She isn't royalty, but everyone treats her like she is. Picture it, a woman in a floral dress, red lipstick, hair perfectly done, and heels clicking down the cobblestone street. She might just be buying tomatoes or taking out the trash, but she looks ready for a magazine cover. Italians call it la bella figura, the art of carrying yourself with pride and grace. In Italy, conversation isn't quiet. It's a full performance. Hands fly, eyes sparkle, shoulders move with rhythm. Every word feels like music. Women here speak not only with their voices, but with their entire bodies, a habit passed down through generations. Lunch is never just food. It's a ritual of creativity, a plate that tells a story. And somehow, between laughter, espresso, and long afternoon talks, Italian women manage to turn the simplest day into something cinematic. They're friendly, but not easy to impress. A first meeting is like an audition. Style and confidence matter. If she touches your hand while talking, that's your cue. If she looks at you from across the table and raises one shoulder with a half smile, congratulations, you've just been invited into the Italian art of subtle flirting. Italy's women don't just live, they perform life beautifully. And maybe that's why every street here feels like a runway, every conversation like a scene from a film. Number 13. The 45-second coffee ritual of Italy. In Italy, coffee isn't a drink. It's a religion with rules. And the first one? No espresso after 11 a.m. Ask for one in the afternoon, and you'll instantly be labeled a tourist. For Italians, espresso is a morning ritual, quick, intense, and sacred. Step inside a local cafe in Rome, Naples, or Bologna, and you'll see it. People standing at the counter, exchanging a few words with the barista, taking a single sip, and walking out, all in under a minute. That's the 45-second coffee ritual. No laptops, no takeaway cups, no small talk. Just caffeine, conversation, and continuation. In Trieste, Italy's coffee capital, locals have their own language for ordering. Saying espresso is wrong. Here, it's just un caffè. Want it black? Say nero. A touch of milk? Capo. Just one drop? Gocciato. Each word carries centuries of coffee culture, and there's a heartwarming twist, the caffè sospeso, or suspended coffee. Many Italians pay for an extra cup, leaving it behind for a stranger who can't afford one. It's an unspoken tradition, small but deeply human. Caffeine mixed with compassion. So next time you're in Italy, skip the long line and the fancy foam. Order at the counter, take a sip, and leave like a local. In 45 seconds, you'll understand what dolce vita really means. Number 12. Vintage Vespas, Italy's rolling street heritage. If there's one sound that defines Italy, it isn't church bells or opera. It's the steady buzz of a Vespa zipping through cobblestone streets. Born in 1946 after the chaos of war, the Vespa wasn't built for speed. It was built to bring Italians back to life. Light, elegant, and easy to handle, it became more than a scooter. It became a symbol. Today, That same hum still echoes through Rome, Florence, and Naples. Vintage Vespas from the 1960s glide past ruins and fashion boutiques like time machines on two wheels. They're not collector's toys. They're part of daily life. Many Italian towns even have lanes just for them, and clubs host Vespa tours across Tuscany, hundreds of scooters rolling through vineyards like a moving museum of freedom. Old Vespas aren't junk here. They're legends. In places like San Gimignano, annual Vespa rallies draw enthusiasts from around the world. The locals polish their scooters like heirlooms, swapping stories instead of engines. And in southern Italy, the romance goes even further. Forget limousines. Couples sometimes ride off from their weddings on a red Vespa, ribbons fluttering in the wind, bells ringing behind them. In Italy, the Vespa isn't just transportation. It's memory on wheels, carrying decades of love, rebellion, and style through every narrow street. Number 11. Italy will pay you $30,000 to move there. But there's a catch. Yes, you heard that right. Italy will actually pay you to move there. But of course, this is Italy. Nothing's ever simple. In several small mountain towns across southern regions like Calabria and Molise, local governments are offering up to $30,000 to anyone willing to relocate and start a small business. Why? Because these postcard-perfect villages are beautiful, but nearly empty. Young people left for the cities, and now the cobblestone streets echo with silence. So here's the deal. You can't just collect the cash and sip wine under the sun. You have to contribute. Open a cafe, a craft shop, a pasta workshop, maybe even a vintage bookstore. Something that brings life back into the village. In return, the town helps with taxes, paperwork, and, because this is Italy, probably welcomes you with lasagna and a glass of local wine. And it gets better. Some towns have homes ready for rent at just $1 a month, complete with a small garden, a fireplace, and mountain views that look straight out of a Renaissance painting. So if city life's worn you out and your dream is to wake up to church bells instead of alarms, Italy's waiting, cash in hand. The only catch? You'll have to slow down, live local, and maybe learn how to argue passionately with your neighbors. In Italian, of course. Number 10. The only city in the world with a smile law. In Italy, even happiness once came with legal paperwork. Yes, in Milan, the city known for high fashion and perfect espresso, there was once an actual rule that required people to smile. Back in the 19th century, Milanese officials decided that a cheerful face should be part of good manners. They introduced what locals called the smile law. Everyone in public was expected to smile, unless you were in a hospital or attending a funeral. A serious face could get you a scolding, maybe even a fine. The law is no longer enforced, but the spirit still lingers. In Milan, smiling isn't just polite. It's cultural. The pastry seller, the tram driver, even the police officer, they all know a smile keeps the city moving. In older neighborhoods, locals still tease newcomers who look too serious. Lighten up. This is Milan, not Monday. Maybe that's why this fashion capital feels warmer than it looks. Behind the designer stores and skyscrapers, the city's true charm is simple, a tradition that says a smile can be as stylish as any Italian suit. Number 9. The only city in Italy without a single road. In a world obsessed with cars and traffic lights, there's one city that simply said, no thanks. Welcome to Venice, the only city in Italy without a single road. Here, engines go silent and wheels become useless. The city floats on more than 150 canals, connected by over 400 bridges and endless narrow walkways. There are no cars, no buses, no honking horns, just water, stone, and time. But Venice does have its own highway, the Grand Canal, where taxis, buses, and even ambulances are boats. The locals glide through the water with the grace of ballet dancers, steering with one hand, waving with the other, It's part chaos, part choreography, and completely Venetian. The most iconic way to travel here is by gondola, a slender black boat steered by one oar and one man who probably knows more about the tides than any GPS. Tourists come for the romance, but for Venetians, it's just how you get home. In Venice, the air smells of salt and history. There's no rush, no roar, only the sound of oars slicing through the lagoon. It's a city that defies the modern world, reminding us that silence can still move faster than traffic. Number 8. Italians and their unusual obsession with tablecloths. In Italy, dinner doesn't start with food. It starts with fabric. Before the first bite, there's a ritual: finding the right tablecloth. For Italians, the tablecloth isn't decoration. It sets the mood, tells the story, and silently announces the importance of a meal. There's one for Sunday lunch, another for unannounced guests, and a precious embroidered heirloom reserved only for Christmas Eve. Even a farewell dinner might have its own special cloth, olive green, soft, and filled with memories. In regions like Umbria and Puglia, mothers pass down tablecloths like family treasures, each thread carrying stories of arguments, laughter, and reconciliations. These aren't just fabrics, they're archives of emotion. And then there's Modica, where art meets dining. Every year the town holds the Tavola d'Arte Festival, a competition where locals show off tablecloths they've hand-woven and embroidered with family legends. Even in Florence, old textile shops still sell linen collections with names like Unexpected Joy. Only in Italy could a piece of cloth feel like haute couture. So when an Italian says, "Come eat," what they really mean is, come join the story, the one that begins with a table and ends in memories. Number 7. The strange and magical nightlife of Trastevere, Rome. When the sun sets over Rome, the real city wakes up, and no neighborhood captures that spirit like Trastevere. Forget loud clubs and flashing lights. Here, the night glows softly, from candles placed on doorsteps to quiet laughter spilling out of narrow alleyways. Locals still light small candles outside their homes, not as decoration, but as an open invitation to talk. It's Rome's way of saying, come in, stay a while. You won't find crowds pushing into bars. Instead, people gather in the streets, sipping red wine, sharing secrets, and letting conversations drift until sunrise. There's no blasting music, just the hum of voices, the clink of glasses, and the echo of cobblestones underfoot. Rome even hides a few surprises for night wanderers. Some secret restaurants open at 2 a.m., serving dishes recreated from 2,000-year-old Roman recipes. And if you're lucky, you might stumble upon a locals-only ghost walk near the Pantheon, where the city's ancient spirits are said to roam. Walk along Via del Corso late at night, and you'll see women in heels and espresso cups, laughing into their phones as if the night itself were their stage. In Trastevere, bars like Bar del Fico or Jerry Thomas Speakeasy aren't just about cocktails. They're gathering spots for artists, dreamers, and storytellers. And then there's Piazza Navona, where street performers take over the old Roman stadium, and Piazza del Popolo, whose whispering wall can carry a secret across 30 meters, as if Rome itself is trying to talk to you. In Trastevere, the night isn't wild. It's alive. A little strange, a little romantic, and completely unforgettable. Number 6. The Italian way of traveling. Traveling in Italy isn't just about ticking landmarks off a list. It's about feeling the rhythm of the country itself. Every region has its own story, its own flavor, and its own pace. Start on the coast in Cinque Terre, where 5 pastel-colored villages cling to cliffs like brushstrokes on a painting. Locals sip wine as the sea glitters below, and fishing boats rock gently between the rocks. From there, drift toward Porto Venere, a hidden gem where you can kayak through sea caves that shimmer like mirrors. Hop a short train to La Spezia, Grab a plate of seafood so fresh it tastes like the ocean, and then head inland to Pisa, home of the world's most photogenic architectural mistake. Snap your classic holding up the tower shot, then explore the Piazza dei Miracoli, where cathedrals and monasteries have watched over the city for centuries. Nearby, the Orto Botanico, founded in 1544, stands as one of Europe's oldest botanical gardens, a quiet oasis that still smells of history and wild herbs. When you reach Rome, toss a coin into the Trevi Fountain, then follow the cobblestones to the Spanish Steps, immortalized in the film Roman Holiday. From there, stroll down Via del Corso, a paradise for shoppers and street musicians, and finish your walk with a bold Italian espresso that could wake the gods. And of course, no trip ends without seeing the Colosseum, once roaring with gladiators, now echoing only with footsteps and memories. Just a short walk away lies Palatine Hill and the Roman Forum, where every stone still whispers the story of an empire that never truly died. That's the Italian way to travel, not to rush, but to wander, to taste, and to let every corner remind you that history here doesn't just sit still, it sings. Number 5. Italians don't talk with their mouths. In Italy, words are only half the story. The rest is told by hands, faces, and the kind of body language that could win an Oscar. Stand in a Naples piazza, and you'll see it in action. Two men arguing passionately, arms cutting through the air, shoulders rising and falling like waves. It's not anger, it's conversation. In Italy, communication is full-body theater. For Italians, hands don't just accompany speech, they are the speech. Every motion has meaning. A finger pinch pushed toward the sky doesn't simply ask, "What's going on?" It expresses confusion, emotion, and rhythm all at once. The gestures are so complex, they were once cataloged into a dictionary of hand signals, more than 250 officially recorded movements across the country. And yes, children in Naples are still taught to parlare con le mani, speak with your hands, as part of local culture. The style changes from city to city. Romans gesture like conductors leading an orchestra, smooth and grand. Sicilians, on the other hand, are fiery. Every swirl of a finger feels like a dance move. Together, it creates a national performance, everyday conversations that look like small plays unfolding on the street. To truly understand Italians, you can't just listen. You have to watch them. Their communication is emotional, visual, and deeply human. That's why in Italy, even silence speaks. Number 4. Europe's most bizarre and wonderful festivals. If Italy were an opera, its festivals would be the most dramatic scenes, loud, colorful, and absolutely unforgettable. Start with Venice's Carnival, where masks aren't just costumes, they're ancient keys to a double life. Back in the 13th century, nobles and commoners weren't allowed to mingle. But for a few wild days each year, masks erased every social line. Underneath the feathers and gold, anyone could flirt, gamble, or sneak into forbidden affairs without being recognized. Even today, the air in St. Mark's Square feels charged, like history is still whispering through every mask. Then, head north to Ivrea, a quiet alpine town that transforms once a year into complete chaos. Locals reenact their rebellion against tyranny by throwing oranges at each other. Yes, oranges. For 3 days, the streets turn into a full-scale fruit war. Helmets on, carts charging, pulp flying through the air like confetti. Want to stay out of it? Wear a red hat. It's the local code for "I'm just watching." And down in Siena, the madness takes a different form. The Palio di Siena isn't just a horse race. It's a centuries-old battle between neighborhoods. 10 horses, 10 riders, and one ancient square. Piazza del Campo. Here's the twist. The horse doesn't even need a jockey to win. If it crosses the finish line alone, the victory still counts. Each district has its own colors, flags, even secret museums that only open during festival season. From masked intrigue to fruit warfare to jockey-free racing, Italy proves one thing. When it celebrates, it doesn't hold back. Every festival is a performance, every tradition a story, and every year, the country finds new ways to turn chaos into beauty. Number 3. Living like an Italian for under $1,600 a month. Imagine waking up to church bells instead of car horns, sipping espresso under an olive tree, and ending your day with a glass of red wine as the sun melts behind terracotta rooftops, all for less than $1,600 a month. Sounds impossible? Not in Italy. In smaller cities like Bari, Lecce, or Bologna, life moves slower and costs far less. You can rent a cozy one-bedroom apartment in the city center for $700 to $950, utilities around $130, and high-speed internet for about $30. Food, that's the fun part. If you cook at home or grab lunch from a local trattoria, you'll spend just $12 to $15 a meal, and it'll taste like heaven. Public transport is cheap and reliable. Bus or tram passes cost around $40 to $50 a month. A gym membership? About $35 to $50. Even healthcare here feels like a hidden gem. A private dental checkup starts at only $50, nearly 60% less than in the US. Add it up, and a single person can live comfortably on $1,300 to $1,600 a month, surrounded by art, history, and gelato on every corner. And here's the real plot twist. Italy offers tax breaks for foreigners, up to 70% off your taxable income for the first 5 years. There's even a special visa for young retirees who want to stay long-term. So if you've ever dreamed of trading deadlines for dolce vita, Italy might be calling your name, softly with espresso in hand. Would you take it? Number 2. The most peculiar dining rituals in the world. When you eat in Italy, you're not just having a meal. You're stepping into a national ceremony where food has rules, pride, and sometimes laws. Take Naples' margherita pizza, for example. It's not just pizza. It's UNESCO-protected cultural heritage. The crust must be baked in a wood-fired oven, topped only with San Marzano tomatoes and buffalo mozzarella from Campania. Anything else is culinary blasphemy. And yes, Italian chefs can spot a fake from a mile away. Head north to Bologna, and whatever you do, never ask for spaghetti bolognese. It doesn't exist. Locals will politely or not so politely correct you. The real dish is ragu alla bolognese, served with flat tagliatelle, never spaghetti, and absolutely no garlic or heavy tomato sauce like in American versions. Italy takes pasta seriously. With over 350 types, each region guards its traditions. Pesto belongs only to trophy pasta. Mix it with anything else, and you'll earn a few disapproving stares. And don't even mention fettuccine alfredo. That's an American fantasy. Even wine here isn't about getting drunk, it's about balance. Italians drink it like water, but always with food, never in excess. And remember this sacred rule: never sprinkle cheese on seafood. It's considered a crime against the sea itself. Some traditions push the limits of comfort, like Sardinia's casu marzu, the infamous live maggot cheese that requires a waiver to taste. Yes, it's real. And yes, people still eat it. From pizza protected by law to cheese that wriggles back, Italy proves that food here isn't just about taste. It's about identity, history, and a little bit of madness. Number 1. Italy's unlucky number, the curse of 17. In most countries, people fear 13, but in Italy, the number 17 is pure doom. You'll notice it everywhere, or rather you won't. Many hotels skip the 17th floor, airlines avoid seat number 17, and some car models go straight from 16 to 18. Even ancient tombs have avoided it. Why? It all comes down to a Roman superstition carved in stone. In Roman numerals, 17 is written as 17, but rearrange those letters and you get vixi, a Latin word meaning I have lived. To the ancient Romans, that was basically a death sentence. the way you'd inscribe something on a gravestone. Over centuries, the fear stuck. So while Americans panic on Friday the 13th, Italians cross themselves on Friday the 17th. Some even refuse to make big decisions, sign contracts, or get married on that date. Ironically, many Italians say they don't believe in the superstition, but ask them to sleep on the 17th floor and they'll politely request to be moved just in case. It's Italy's perfect mix of logic and drama, where even bad luck has a sense of style. Italy isn't just a country, it's a beautiful contradiction. A place where logic surrenders to passion, and every street hides a story that refuses to fade. From superstition to art, from chaos to grace, Italy never explains itself. It simply lives. Thanks for watching, and if this journey made you curious, don't stop here. Because in Italy, the moment you think you've seen it all, that's when it surprises you again. See you in the next adventure.